My name is Derby Bheta. I'm part of College Central. I'm a director, writer, and an editor. Right now, we know that people are waiting for Wepa, and we're doing everything we can to make sure that the show comes back. So I think having the audience at your back, it gives you confidence to really know, because you know that someone will watch it. It's different. Like, you know, when we start with Wepa, we told ourselves, you know, at least let's make something that even if no one watches it, we'll watch it. So at least I know that, you know, even if nobody likes Wepa, people at College Central, the cast, at least they'll watch it. At least we have an audience. But now the audience is huge, so it kind of gives us motivation to do it. We want to do it. If it was possible, we'd release Wepa season 2 today, if it was possible. So that's how motivated we are. Everything which stops us is something that we can't control. But if we could control everything, we would give people content every day. So I think the audience just have to be patient, because we're still young. You know, this is, I think, our 3rd year trying to run a business. So we're still young. We're still trying to learn a lot of things. But I'm pretty sure we'll get to the point where we can provide content throughout the year. That's the wish, that every person, every day, you'll be watching something that we produce. So the audience, I think they just have to be patient enough, and we appreciate them, because that's gold. You know, without the audience, the corporate won't even talk to us. You know, the corporates talk to us because we have an audience. So we appreciate the audience, and we have to keep doing something to the audience, and that's what will happen. Then for Wepa, the cast, I think, like I told you, I cast everyone that I know, so it's easier. I put emphasis on that so that the set is more friendly.
I remember talking to Derby, the director, a long time ago when I had a heartbreak. And I told him, I need to cry. I need to cry in a film. And he's like, okay, we'll make a plan. And it took him about 2 years. And then he finally came, he said, I was actually just chilling. He's like, I have a script for you. I was like, okay, let me check it out. It's Wepa. I read it and it was amazing. I loved it. I loved it. It was love at first sight, at first read. Yes, I loved it, and there we were reading it, and I was like, let's do it, even next month. But it was around, was it October or November? It's like, no, it's January things. So we prepared for it, and I made sure that I put myself together, and there we were shooting Wepa moyo. To me, it was amazing.
Firstly, Derby called me. I got this projection that he wants to do. He was, and you can send me the script in the morning. When I first read it, and it was just in brief. Then when I came on board, like I've worked with Derby from the previous years since I was at school up to now. So it was just one of those scripts, and this was the first script that I is an actor. So now I'm going to let me just give it a try. And also the fact that he wanted my kid to be in there. So that's the other thing why I got involved.
We think of an idea, then we really, I feel like our strength is we really know how the story ends. So it gives us an opportunity to divert the audience in a way they don't expect. Like, for example, I think my favorite part in Wepa was when Biko didn't go. I feel like no one was expecting it, but we knew that Biko was not going anywhere. So I feel like the fact that we know how the story ends kind of gives us strength to really take the audience in a different direction, then bring them back to life. So we just discussed the whole thing, then EM Sakanda writes the other part, I write the other part, then we just make sure that it's in sync. Like, it looks like, you know, it's just not really, we don't really want to make it feel like there are different people writing. So we try to make sure that, you know, it kind of feels like it's one person. So anyone can write as long as we have the story. But for us, we specialize on the ending. We need to know how the story ends, because we know, you know, the basic element. There's a beginning, there's a middle, and there's an end. So we put that into consideration. I feel like that's what makes us, that gives us an advantage, because we know how the story ends. We know how season 2 will end now. So even no matter what happens in the middle, we just trying to divert the audience. Like, that's now entertainment.
I will never lie, and I would never lie about it. It was amazing. I loved every bit of it. And as Derby, the director, is always straightforward. College Central is always straightforward. They tell you we don't really have, the budget is tight. So are you down for it? And I've been working with them since 2015. My first film, it was with College Central. It was a short film. The first time I ever appeared on camera, it was with them. So I was like, no, you know what? This is my dream, so let's do it. Because I told Derby, please make me famous. And then after Wepa, he calls me and he says, do you feel like a celebrity now? And I was like, yeah, I think I'm there now. I'm a bit there. When I walk, people say, wow, look at that guy. So yeah, it was amazing. That was the Wepa story. And of course the cast was great. That was great casting right there. Everyone felt like they were there. They were meant to be there. You know, I can never imagine another Blamos or another Biko or another Chido or another Noku. It was just, or my Noku or Ben Mahaka is someone else. It was, to me, it was amazing. It changed everything.
I come from a family of four boys. We are 4 boys. I grew up in a lot of places. I grew up in Highfields. I grew up in Southerton. We were moving. You know how it is like. So I think it is through my family moving around. It kind of exposed me to a lot of cultures, a lot of stories, a lot of things, which I think gave me a reason, maybe a purpose to be in a position to tell stories. So you really never know, Kuti, it's your calling until when we are here. Then when you look back, everything kind of makes sense. I remember going, we didn't have like a VCR. We didn't have that. You know, you have to go somewhere to watch that. But you had clubs where people went to rent the video tapes and stuff. I would go there with friends. We would just look at the cover. Then, you know, from there, I could picture how the film will end or how the film will go through. This is my own imagination. So when you're with the other guys, you kind of tell your own version of the story by just looking from what the video cassette would look like. So I think from there, when I look back, I felt like maybe that is where everything started. Then along the way, I ended up at MSU to study film. I wanted to study film. I think that's the reason why I wanted to go there. But it was hard for me to just go and study film. I couldn't get the first year, but I got the place, but I wouldn't go because of fees. So I had to go and work first, then come back. But I've always been a person who believes that everything happens for a reason. Because maybe if I had gone the year that I wanted to go, I would have met the other guys, which I'm now with in College Central. So I've always been a firm believer that, you know, even if things don't go your way, it's for a good reason. So College Central started at school. I think that's why we use College Central, because that's where we started. So we went to school. When you get there, what you expect is different from what's there. They didn't have film, even though it's a film and theater department. They didn't do film much. It was theater best. So we get to the point where you feel like you want to do film, but there's no one doing film. So we started to create something that we wanted to be a part of. That's how College Central started. So we were many when we started, I think around 7. But you know, after school, reality will always catch up, you know, when you realize you need to pay rent, you need to do this. So a lot of people left. So we got to the point where we were only 3, College Central. So it kind of gave us a reason to keep pushing, you know, because I'm also a firm believer that people should do what they like. And that's where the magic is. We feel like we just have to work out to make sure that we earn something out for something we love. So I love film. I love making films. So I've been fortunate enough that I've been surrounded with people who believe that, you know, if we work together, we can achieve them. So that's how I also call my blessing. People who actually believe, because I feel like many people out there don't have the opportunity to really have a team which actually believe and help you achieve. So I think, in short, that's me.
But chemistry has to be felt. You need to have something to be there, and I think that's what Derby has worked with. He knew that we were good friends, and he's like, but you guys can actually work together, and there we were. But for someone who has never watched or who is willing to watch Wepa Moyo, it's a story about a young boy. His name is Tawa, and he's a soccer player. He loves soccer, and he has a best friend who acts as his manager. And well, all this, the journey, the dream is to end at Manchester United. Tawa has to play for Manchester United. So that was the goal at first. And then, well, he falls in love with a girl called Noku. When they fall in love, everything kind of shifts now. The energy is shifted. Tawa focuses on Noku, the girl, and instead of his dream of becoming a soccer player and getting signed by Manchester United. And all this happens. You need to watch it so that you can know what really happens. But there's a whole lot of crying, guys. If you're going to watch it, you're going to cry. And you're going to love it. So make sure that you are set. You eat your breakfast or you eat your dinner, because you might end the whole night. It has 10 episodes, just meant for you. And once you watch one episode, just know that you need to finish them all. So just make sure that you are ready.
For College Central, I think I would like to call it, we really started slow. Like really, we had to start afresh. Like everything is just, after school, everything just went the other direction of what we expected. You know, at school, you know, your rent is being paid for. You have the license to dream. You have the license to shoot everything, because the other important aspects of life are being taken care of by the family. But when you leave school, it's a different game altogether. We didn't know that. We just came out of school and we thought everything would be nice, and it wasn't nice. We had to look for brand money. We have to look for food. We have to look for everything. We have to understand how to run a business, which we're still struggling to know how it's done. But I think us being students gave us an element of, we always want to learn. So it gives us, you know, it's in us. Learning is in us because we've been to school. So it's been a very interesting journey. It's been a very hard and interesting journey, but we just managed to take one step at a time and learn as much as we can. But at the same time, always, I think we believe in ourselves. We believe that we have a purpose. We believe that we can create a different game altogether. And I feel like it starts with us. We have seen our people. I think we pay attention. We've seen how other guys are doing it. We chose a way which suits us. I think you've seen people who do like NGO, like, you know, those kind of content where it's like, you know, we have to push an agenda. We try to run away from that because we value entertainment. This is us. We do stuff that we want to see. So it's harder, obviously, to explain things with money with people with money that, you know, this is my idea. It's going to make sense. You know, people don't believe it. Even for Wepa, for us to do Wepa, it was really hard, you know, to actually convince someone to say, you know, if we do this, this will work hard, this will work out. That's why I use friends. I cast people I know, because it's easier that way.
My favorite scene was when Tawa was asking Noku out. Up to now, I still watch it and say, wow, this guy's deep. You know, I was watching it, I think 2 days back. I was with Ian. Ian is the DOP. And I was like, yo, who wrote this part? Because they are the writers. I was like, who wrote this part? This part is deep. Because I was watching it. You know, I fell in love with watching myself. I was like, oh, but this guy, you know, he goes, Noku, I think I like you. And then he goes, nah, Ndokuda. I was like, what? Then watch dog and Nakumpoenda Kudara. I was like, yo. That was my best part. That was my best part. And then the other parts were, you know, every scene with Biko was amazing. And not even with just Biko, every scene with everyone was amazing. And there were times when we couldn't, you know, we tried to keep our straight faces, but then it was hard. It was really hard. It was really, especially the hospital scene with Biko saying, "Don't put some banana." Now imagine the people who were watching were laughing. What about us? It was amazing. You know, it was really hard. I think that was the hardest part about it all, trying to keep a straight face, because now you need to be straight faced because you cannot laugh. But then the whole situation, it was amazing. And sometimes we'd actually find out, we're already done. Like, done. But it was amazing. I think that, yeah, those, and the sad part, I think the saddest part was when I was telling Biko that, you know, it's time for you to remain and all that. I think that was the sad part. Everyone was quiet on set. Even when my Noku was crying, I was there watching the scene when she was told divorce. And then she started crying. Everyone was quiet. You know, those are scenes where you just, yeah, are we still acting here? But yeah, you know, those are some of the scenes where you look at and say, guys, things are deep. And also the one where Tawa finally meets Tendai, then he just looks, he was helpless. He didn't know what to do. It was, yeah, those were some of the scenes which hit me. I still watch them and just go like, wow.
So everyone that you see in Wadiwa is someone I've talked to before, because when you start, you don't have the money and people don't believe. People want to see what you've done before. So it has been very hard. But then, like I told you, like we students, we're learning. We felt like YouTube could be a good thing for us because, you know, when you go for the BC or other channel, there's protocol. You know, they have what they want, and they'll tell you they want 13 episodes. We can't afford to shoot 13 episodes, so we put them at 10 because that's what we can do. So we felt like if we can put it on YouTube and make a statement, it can work, and it did work, because after YouTube, ZBC came and we put it on ZBC, which felt like something has never been done before. Like a national TV can't take something which has been seen by a lot of people. But we believe that it can happen, and it did happen. So we feel like it's the belief in ourselves that, you know, let's make a statement on our own. Let's do stuff that we feel like works for us, rather than to fall in a trap as many filmmakers. I feel like many filmmakers, they have the content. I feel like content is gold, but I feel like they don't know it because they still beg to be aired and stuff. I feel like it should be the other way around, and we have proved it to some extent that, you know, it can actually work out. So we chose YouTube because it's flexible. We chose YouTube as our channel because it allows us to do what we can do. So I feel like College Central is just it's very small. It's very small, but we wanna push our own ideologies into the audience, that this is what we do. We want the audience to really know that College Central is just for entertainment. You know, if you're stressed, you come to College Central. So we you know, that's why the stories we tell, like, they're lighthearted, just for the audience to enjoy. And I think what makes them special, my own belief, is we tell stories that we have seen, stories that our friends have seen, our friends have gone through, or me or anyone. So I feel like that also kind of helps to really engage with the audience, because if you're in Zimbabwe, you know, you will most probably go through a lot, the same thing 80% of the time. So I think it is that kind of approach we took, and we wish to really keep pushing that kind of approach to really engage to the audience. And we're at a stage where we realize that what we have now is an audience, and that's gold, because now we're in a position that even if we can upload something, we can actually, we have a ready audience, and which is gold for us. So it's been an interesting journey, but I feel like we're at a stage now where it's no longer as hard as it was before. We're now facing new problems altogether, which for us, we look at as growth.
You know, Derby was working with Ian and some other guys to get a film company going. So, you know, all of them were these young college graduates who studied film, but they really had no resources. So I am very wary of lending equipment out. But in the case of Derby and his crew, I felt like it was a worthwhile thing to do, because, you know, they were experimenting, they were moving forward, and yeah. And then, so when they came up with Wadiwa Wepamoyo, Derby asked me, you know, Mr. Mahaka, can you come and, you know, play this role, whatnot, whatnot. I went, and, you know, what I saw was how much people can do with next to nothing. So, they had a little tripod, They had a, you know, an external recorder, a little Sony camera, and filming at the place where they stay. And, you know, going in and sitting as a director, you know, my role there was as an actor, but with my director mind, you know, I was worried about, okay, the audio, you know, this. But, you know, one thing that you have to do is to, if I go in as a cameraman, I will respect the director's space. If I go in as a soundman, I know how to fit in my space and do the job that I'm there for without crawling all over somebody else. Even if maybe they have less experience, it's their journey, it's their process, and my process is not necessarily the best. It's what works for me. So anyway, I went, you know, a bunch of young people, they were there, no budget, you know, and then, you know, the thing started showing on online, and you know, my daughter, you know, my, I think 10-year-old daughter, was the first to say, "Hey, Dad, you know, you in this thing," and I'm like, yeah. And then one morning I woke up, and my phone literally just started, it was buzzing, bzz, 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 bzz. And then I looked, and it's all this commotion on Twitter, and Wadiwa had blown up, you know, and it's the timing of the release was very fortunate for, I guess, you know, there was the lockdown, people were not totally broke yet, so they had data. Econet and Tawa had not raised their things yet, so people could watch this thing, and it was well made, you know, nicely graded, beautiful, simple story. You know, they're not going for all these camera tricks or whatnot. They're just telling the story. And it's a beautiful love story.
I met Ben Mahaka for the first time when I was looking for an attachment job. It was a dream come true. I mean, Ben Mahaka was on Yellow Card. It was everyone's dream. And I got there in the office. He was there. So I got the job, you know, to work there. It was Battle of the Chefs. So I worked with Ben from then because he was the director of the show. I was an intern. So, but we didn't really, you know, hierarchy. You know, I was really, you know, you didn't really talk. But it was always been a dream just to be in the same place with them. But I'm one person who takes opportunities. Like if I see that if this person can take me to the next level, I just try. I try. You know, I'm willing to fail. So, you know, I've always kept in touch. Even when he left Battle of the Chefs, I've always kept in touch. And I think without knowing, you know, you become a mentor without knowing, because you get to the point where you start discussing personal lives, where that's when you feel good, you've already broken the ice. So I feel like it's during the course that we became friends. So I think when we started, like I told you, it was really hard. I told Ben, no, we really, financially, we're really not in a good place. That's when he took me to shoot Gaza, so that we can actually be somewhere. So he might help me and the guys to really go. That's where we managed to shoot Gaza. So he went me to GP, we went together to Chipinge and we shot Gaza. So when it came to wepamoyo, I believed in the kids. When I say kids, I mean the Everson and the Bicos, that, you know, we can actually come up with a good show. But I wanted something which really sell. Like, you know, I wanted something which, if I can put on screen, people can follow. That's when Ben Mahaka came. So I wasn't convinced you like the script, because, you know, it's Ben Mahaka. What if he doesn't like the script? But I just tried. So I sent him the script. He liked it. He came for a day, because, you know, he's busy. Then we managed to shoot everything in a day. You know, we call Ben Mahaka the money shot, because, you know, that's where people, you know, once people see him, you get there. So I think, and he didn't even charge us for his, you know, for his work. I think he's always been helping us as a business, irregardless of wepamoyo or anything. I think he's one person who I genuinely know that he really wishes the best for the business, and he's one person that I know could see when we really need help, we can actually look up for him. So like I told you, I keep counting my blessings. I feel like it's really, if you have Ben Mahaka as a mentor for the business, I think it's really huge. So I think that's the story with Ben Mahaka. And I think we're really in a place where we really want to do more. We really want to explore more. And I think, you know, what really makes me happy is the fact that, you know, we saw Ben Mahaka Chiloka. He's a hero, and having him by your side is really, really a great opportunity, and I really appreciate, and I'm pretty sure every guy in College Central really appreciates his presence.
And it took off, and you know, and then everybody starts saying, oh, well done, Ben, well done, you've done this. And you know, I had to push back and say, this is not me. This College Central have done this, give them the due credit, it's their thing. But my benefit from that was that, you know, I got this social media following, and I also got this understanding that, well, actually, it's worth it trying YouTube. And it's worth it to work on this social media engagement, because everything is shifting. The market is shifting. You know, Gaza has been showing on ZTV, but, you know, I have not been paid by ZTV for giving them that show. What ZTV says is, we'll give you 2.5 minutes of advertising. Go look for your advertisers. And you know, but ZTV has got a marketing department, so you know, I actually expect, and they actually get advertising, which goes into their coffers. But so there's something totally wrong with giving your national broadcaster a completed project, and they take it and they don't pay anything for it, and they expect quality content to continue coming. So Wadiwa Moyo was on YouTube, but it wasn't on ZTV. And then when it blew up, it reached everywhere, corporate, government as well. And I think there are voices within government who asked, well, this is a bunch of young people, young Zimbabweans, why is this thing not on TV? And in interviews, you know, Derby said, yeah, well, you know, actually, we tried, but we couldn't meet the requirements to get on ZTV. So those are the things that I think informed ZTV's decision to put Wadiwa Moyo on their channel.
So the future of College Central, I think, like I said before, we really want to do entertainment. We really want to give content to the people. We have a lot of stories to tell. Like I always tell people, you know, when people talk to me, we keep talking about Wadiwa Moyo, but I keep running away from it because I feel like, you know, we're not just going to do Wadiwa Moyo. Like next year, season 2, that's the last season for Wadiwa Moyo. So we have more things to do. So it's still hard to really convince someone that, you know what, we can actually do something which is more interesting than Wadiwa Moyo. It's hard. For I feel like College Central, we still have a lot of work to do, to really make people believe that, you know, if we can actually do more than Wadiwa Moyo. So it's still a journey, but I hope one day we'll be big, and, you know, we have a bigger studio where, you know, we'll keep making things. Not could, you know, we do Wadiwa Moyo. Now it's like the year is almost done. We've only done one project in a day, regardless of COVID-19. I feel like we should be in a position that maybe we're doing Wadiwa Moyo, we're doing another project here, we're doing another project here. It will be a dream come true that, you know, maybe when you come through to the College Central channel, you don't just watch Wadiwa Moyo, you know, because we also understand that audience is different. Not everyone likes Wadiwa Moyo. Some like other stuff. Some people like other stuff. So we try to cater to a broad audience as much as we can. So College Central job, I think we still have a long journey to go, but I think we just take it one step at a time. So I think for the fans, I think I always count it as a blessing also, because having a lot of people believing in you is huge. We only realized that we actually have an impact on people when we failed to upload an episode. I think it was episode 7. We couldn't do it because of, you know, technicalities. But it was at that moment that people were not happy with us, that we felt like, you know, we're just ordinary people. How can all these people not be happy with us? But we always look at it differently. We felt like, okay, so these people actually want us to continue doing this. So it kind of gave us a reason to keep doing. And I think for the audience, I think that feeling makes us keep doing more. So obviously, this is not the end. We'll keep doing it because we know that people want.
the way it was structured, taienda paseta according ne shoot yako kuti ituda kuitwa. There were 10 episodes, so not all of the people were involved in the 10 episodes. So iwo waiuya according nekuti day rakati rikushutwa pa episode ipi. I was involved in all the 10 episodes, so I went mamwe acho ndakabatanidzwa, like ndaigona kuita kana 3 mascenes ema episodes akasiyana siyana, which made me not to see some of the cast, like ana Tendai. I didn't meet him, Pataita production, ndakatozomuona after production, which was a good thing. Chakaitwa nima directors edu, the likes of Derby and also the crew, because zvakati batsira, it would save time kana une zvimwe zvinhu zvekuita, and also it was professional, because kungoenda kunogara uchiona mwana achishutwa iwo wakangogara uchiona zvimwe, and interest yefilm awazokwanisa kuiona. I was so glad and I was so happy about the way they structured it, because paionekwa nevamwe, like the series, ndaitoenda over YouTube kutonowonawo, because I didn't know what would happen to Tendai, I didn't to Tawa or to Noku, nekuti ndakuona pavakashutwa. So it's a good thing chavakaita, and it was also a lesson to me.
So I think wepamoyo was a very useful learning process for me, and I'll take education wherever I can get it. And these young people schooled me on how you can have zero marketing budget and still get out there and reach the world, you know. And they started building the audience with a special class, and so by the time that wepamoyo came, they already had quite a lot of followers. When I relaunched Gaza, I phoned Derby. Right, Derby, okay, what do I do now? I've got my episodes here and there. What I wanted to do was, you know, to make sure it's on ZTV so that the people who made it got to watch it as well, but also to put it online and follow Derby's lead.
So yeah, I'm really proud of everyone. I think Biko really touched lives of many people. I think Tawa is carrying everyone's dreams. Growing up, everyone wanted to play soccer, and I'm pretty sure everyone who wanted to play soccer and never made it to Manchester United is their whole dreams are on Tawa. That's what I believe, because I also wanted to play soccer. So I also want Tawa to carry that dream of mine that never really happened. So we feel like those kind of elements kind of makes wepamoyo be a great story, because everyone can relate differently. Everyone can relate. So they did well. I'm really proud of everyone else. And I think Sisi Shami is a typical sister. Everyone knows. I've seen people like Sisi Shami, you know, where as much as they're good, they always make mistakes, which, you know, and I think that's the other thing we're trying to put in wepamoyo, that no one is perfect. We put it in that no matter how much you like them, they're always going to make mistakes, because we feel like we live in a world where perfectionist has become the norm. Like, you know, we lost track that we are human at the end of the day. So we also at the same time we're trying to tell stories that, you know, as much as everything can be hard or what, we don't really have to be perfect. We just have to love one another regardless of everything which might happen. So we're trying to explore many themes in wepamoyo, not just love, not just football, but just being a human being. What makes someone being a human being, and what life throws at us. But wepamoyo is just an inspiration movie, if I can call it. Like, we just want to inspire someone. We just want to make people believe in their dreams, that regardless of what happens, your dreams will come true. So that's the plan with wepamoyo. We want to inspire the world. We want to inspire the world. We want to make sure that, I don't know, I can't really say much about it, but we just want to inspire the world.